Today I'm going to be talking about Joe Metheny. He would say that his early life, that his dad was an alcoholic and his mom really struggled to be there for him, although she would say that she was always there for him. So his father would end up passing away in a car accident when Joe was only 6 years old. And in school, apparently, he was smart. He was a good kid, but he would end up dropping out of school a little bit later and would end up getting his GED. He would end up going in the Army, and this is where some people believe he actually went in the Army, and some people believe that it was just a story he told. So that I really don't know, but he said that he went to the Army. He would end up getting married and he had a son. His wife would end up leaving him and taking his son, and he was really angry about that. So he found out that his wife was on the streets, and so he went trying to look for her to find his son. And he asked these two guys, and they told him that, they hadn't seen her, but he didn't believe them, and he would end up taking their lives. He was also really bad into alcohol and drugs. And this was actually a way that he would end up luring off his victims, telling them that they would just do drugs together. And he would get them to come to his house. And there was one young woman that she was a mother, and her family really loved her, and her parents really loved her. And when she met Joe, people around her would say she actually felt bad for him. So she would hang out with him some. He would end up taking her life. And he would also say, it was never proven, but he would say that in 1976, that when he went to a bar, he took the life of a woman that he met at a bar. And he took the lives of two more women, and there was a fisherman that was fishing that day, and because he noticed what was going on, Joe would take his life too. And he would also make burgers out of his victims, and people would eat these burgers. One time, one of his friends tried to help the police in catching him, that he caught on to what was going on. So he never really would say much to this friend. There was a young woman that she went back to Joe's house, and she had hung out with him before, but this time she says she just felt something wasn't right. Well, he tried to take her life, and she would end up escaping and going to the police. So he would be caught for this, and he would end up getting 50 years. And then when he was in prison, he did start talking about other stuff that he had done. And the families of some of the victims were there to hear the awful things that happened to their loved ones. And it was really sad. Joe, though, like I said, he would be put in prison, and he would end up dying in prison. And there's a couple stories I've heard of actually how he passed away. One was that maybe somebody poisoned him. One was that he took his own life. So I've heard different stories. But he did pass away in prison. Thank you guys for watching. Have a blessed day.